from Jurong.
Hello.
Hi, Peggy. Okay, we have about a few more to come. Okay, we'll just wait for another 5 more minutes. Okay, I think we can start lah. Otherwise, we end up late. Good evening, everybody. Can you hear me? Are you able to hear me? Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
You can't. You, okay. Okay, thank you. So if you cannot hear me, please tell me. Otherwise, I will just carry on. Good evening. Now today I'm not using the VPN from Republic Poly. I think the last time I used it, it was quite unstable. So yeah, I skip the VPN. I go direct using my own internet. Good evening, everybody. Last lesson 2 was the e-learning about the practice areas. I just wonder whether anybody got any question. Or I will assume that everybody has diligent enough to look at the e-learning materials. The practice areas actually is more like the different fields of study that actually helps the text mining process. Okay. Is there any question that do you need me to rough to quickly go through one more time?
Yeah, that would be nice to review a bit.
Okay. So I'll just take a quick one. No, I won't go into detail because otherwise we don't have 2 lessons. Okay, let me okay. Okay, last week we e-learning we cover the practice areas. So as I mentioned just now, the practice area refers to the fields of technologies that we that text mining actually use. Now, one of the terms that we always use is called in the text mining is corpus, right? Corpus basically refers to a set of documents that we use. It's our raw data lah. So if I use in your exercise, you'll find that I normally point you to a directory of documents, text documents. So the whole directory can be considered as a corpus, right? So a practice area, as I say, refer to a field of study where we apply different techniques from different technology. Okay. Now the most widely uh, used is from this area called the natural language processing, right? So this is the study of how words are formed, how texts are formed, and so on. So we just run through it. Okay. So when talk about information retrieval, basically is the word already tell us it's a retrieval of information. So it's just like our Google search. So when we do a Google search, what happens is that behind the scene, the keywords that we key in are being compared lah. Okay, are being compared, and actually it goes into the Google server where they will look through the index. Index is like the index that we use behind the book. In that index will contains the location of the information. That's how it is so fast. Okay, it is a bit like the indexing we use for databases. Okay, so this is your query, your Google search, and then the Google server your keywords will be searched through the index, all right, where the index will actually point to the location of documents. Now, what happened behind the scene was the Google as a search spider, we call it the spider. It's actually a software that periodically goes to the internet and pull down all the web pages, right? So when you do a search, you're actually searching on the database of Google. You don't actually do the across the internet, because that will be very slow. What happened is that they actually retrieve the pages from the internet and actually save it into the servers of Google. So you can imagine the data center of Google will be very, very huge. All right. Okay. So I presume you have seen this video, right? This is a good video. Shows you how the Google search is done, right? Okay, I will skip this. Now, of course, the page rank, when you do a search, there are certain documents that appears, among the top 5 or top 10. Okay, and this is based on the calculation of the page rank. So the page rank will determine which documents will actually be ranked the first, and so on, right? So I think it has been explained. Okay, so there is information retrieval. The next field of practice that we normally use for text mining is document classification. Now, this is quite self-explanatory. Now, we can also see this as an application. All right, based on certain rules, the documents in the text, or the text in the documents are being classified. Now, one example that we normally have been using is our email, right? Now, if we use the Microsoft email, you find that we like to make folders, different folders for different topics of the email. And we actually set certain rules help us to filter, to automatically filter to the relevant folders when the email comes in, right? So there is an example of document classification, because the rules will actually help us to do the classifying. Okay. Yeah. When we talk about supervised learning, we are referring to those technique that has predefined labels. What that means is that you already predefine your categories, just like the email just now. If you have, say, 3 folders, all right, 3 folders. One folder is emails from your boss. Then second folder is emails from your colleague, and then third folder is emails from your friends. So you already predefine these 3 categories for documents. So that's an example of a supervised learning. And your rules for classification will be based on how you're going to filter into these 3 predefined categories, right? That's why it's called supervised. Of course, the other one is unsupervised. Unsupervised means there's no label, right? It's free for all. One example, of course, is the clustering. Okay, right. So the documents will be classified into categories that has been predefined. Okay, I mentioned here the email is one example. Now, of course, you know that a document may contains more than one topic or one themes. So a document may be classified into more than one classification. It depends on how you build your model. Okay. Uh, so for example, a document can be classified under health or under fruits. If that document is about, the benefits of eating fruits, something like that. Now, information extraction basically is to identify entities in the document. Now, in any text document, there are entities like the names of people, organization, or places, or date of time, right? And these are actually important clues to what the document is talking about. These are the entities. Okay, so in information extraction, we are looking for basically these entities and how these entities are related to one another. Okay, one example is this. So I have this text document, right? So what is important here is that we want to know when, where, and what happened, So these are some of the entities that can be extracted from a text document. All right, the date, the location, what kind of incident, and so on. So from these keywords, we'll know give us an idea of what is the main gist of the text. Okay. Any questions so far?
Not me.
Okay. Then we talk about document clustering. Again, the name already tell you that is clustering documents that are similar, right? But unlike document classification, this is unsupervised learning. Or now we say unsupervised means that there's no predefined categories. So I may have 1,000 documents. I really do not know what this 1,000 documents is talking about. There may be different themes of discussion or topics that is uh, in these 1,000 documents. So what we do is we build a model, all right, clustering model that will help us to put them into groups, where each group contains similar documents. But we do not know how many groups in advance, right? So uh, we will not predefine any categories. We'll just let the algorithm in the model uh, put them the documents into their natural groups of you know documents. Could be based on certain criteria as defined by the algorithm. Okay, we'll talk about it a bit more later. Now, I think in your predictive analytics class, Rudy's class, you also talk about supervised and unsupervised learning. Now, most of your algorithm that you learn, like decision tree, uh, logistic, these are all supervised learning, right? So you have groups of documents, you actually cluster them into their natural grouping based on certain criteria. Okay. Now the other practice area is of course web mining. This is basically mining the metadata, okay, extracting the metadata of the or certain selected kind of data content from the internet. Right? It could be the web content or it could be uh, the web usage and so on. We won't be doing this in our course. So example of information extracted from web data could be uh, certain kind of behavior. Okay, some statistics. For example, we are able to extract out, the number of visits to a particular website. Okay, and that will probably tell us how the organization is. Now, link analysis here is another approach, analysis technique to understand the relationship between entities. Okay, between entities. So we'll talk more about this when it comes to concept links in SAS. Okay, this is just the taxonomy. Okay, some of the things that we can actually extract web, okay, which category of information that we want. Actually, it's five. So the volume is the amount of data, refers to the amount of data that is available for mining. Can you hear me?
Yes, we get you.
Okay. Now, velocity refers to how fast data travels. Okay, for example, now we know that data travels very fast, right? You type something on your WhatsApp, the next moment, your friend in US will receive it. So that's how fast. So the with the advent of the big data, you find that the reason why big data comes out is because they are trying to cater for how to handle the big volume of data and also the speed of data, all right? And also the variety of data. Here, the variety of data here refers to the different kind of data, like images, audio, text, and so on, and also the veracity. Now, you heard a lot about fake news, right? So veracity refers to the authenticity of the content. Now we all know that not all the content on the internet are actually factual or actually real. Okay, so there's this issue of authenticity of data, especially when we are doing the data collection from the internet. So this is also an issue to be considered when you do web mining. Okay. The next practice is a natural language processing. As I say, is uh, trying to get computer to understand how humans speak. Right. So when a human being write a text, so how can we make the computer decipher the meaning as what a human will intend to be. So this is a very difficult area actually. All right, for us human, when we talk to each other, we use not just our verbal, we use our gestures and our to help us to communicate. But we find that for computer to do that is actually very difficult. As you can see later on as we progress in the module, right? So take for example, okay, let's take for example this one, right? Now, Mary had a little lamb and drove her car to a farm. At the farm, she sold it to the old McDonald. Now, if we just read that from a human interpretation, it's quite easy. We know that uh, Mary actually drove the lamb to the farm and sold it to old MacDonald. Okay. But if you ask the computer to give us the interpretation and the meaning of this, it's actually very difficult. Okay. And we will actually be doing quite a lot on this in text processing, all right, in text mining, because we know that text is it's qualitative and it has meaning, different meanings in different contexts, unlike structured data. So okay, I leave it to you to see this video. So the NLP actually, when we study NLP, there are three aspects of the language that we study. One is the syntax. All right, syntax is the way, is the grammar of the language. So for example, if you study English language, you will learn how to form a sentence. Right? A sentence that's formed by the syntax that we need to, you need a subject, a verb, you need an object, you need a subject, a verb, and an object to make a sentence. So that is what we mean by the rule of the grammar. Okay, and you have similar rules in any languages. Okay, so it means how you, for a particular language, is the form, how you present it. And secondly is the semantics, the meaning and interpretation. When we talk about semantics, we're talking about the meaning and meaning of words. Okay. And it's only the third aspect that is very difficult, right? The pragmatics. This one we have to take into account the context of the sentences. So the word itself is not a problem, right? The meaning itself is not a problem, but the meaning will change in different contexts. Okay. We'll talk about it in lesson 4, no, lesson 5, all right? Now, concept extraction basically tell us that it is extracting concept from a corpus of documents. That means a pool of documents. So when we are presented with a text document, remember the exercise that we did. I asked you all to summarize. So what we actually do is we try to catch what is the main concept in the text document, right? So unconsciously or consciously, our mind will do some filtering. We also only look at, try to look for keywords and how those keywords link together. And by doing that analysis and link processing, we try to derive about the gist of the message or the document, right? That's concept extraction, and we'll be actually be doing this. What I call in SAS we call it topic extraction, right? And this will be covered quite thoroughly, and you'll be actually need to apply that in your final assignment, final coursework. Okay, concept, or sometimes you call theme mining and so on. Okay, theme. Okay, so this is a typical text mining environment. The data can come from anywhere, right? Okay, and the extraction of data will be based on the business question, and then we go into the text mining process. Now this process will not, before you can actually mine anything, you need to do some data preparation. Okay, and then depending on the business question, we apply the data mining techniques to churn out the results. Now this is a iteration process, because normally it's like that. I mean, we will not be able to get the model. I mean, a best model in the first run. So we have to do a lot of iteration. Okay, I will explain this later on. This whole process when you come to this lesson. Sorry. Okay, maybe I just run through quickly. Okay, there are different methodologies of doing text mining, and different methodologies may call by different name, but the steps are basically the same. Okay, in some methodology they don't call it text parsing, they call it something else. Okay, but the flow, the methodology is the same. The first four phases, all right, collectively they make up what we call the data preparation phase. Before the data can be analyzed, we need to prepare them, because just like in your structured data, right, before you can actually analyze, before you can actually use for decision tree or regression modeling, you want to clean up the data. So how to deal with missing fields, how to do with empty fields, all right? You may have to do some imputation and so on. So basically is to derive a clean set of data where data mining techniques can be applied to it. Now this is also the same in text, right? Imagine you have a corpus of documents in different formats, doc format, PDF, and so on. Now, how are you going to analyze and then so you have to put them into a software. The first thing the software do will be do what we call the text parsing. Now the word text the word parsing is actually is to separate the words, right? To separate the words. And in while doing text parsing, they will not just collect out, they will actually throw away some of the words, okay, and then identify certain keywords and identify those keywords, the role in the text, okay, part of speech. Now you know that in a text, a word can play as a role of an adjective, a noun, an adverb, and so on. So we need to if we need to understand the context in which the word that is being extracted played, so that we can understand the true meaning. Again, we'll look into details in each of the lecture, because each of these phases are actually one lecture. Okay, and then we will look into all these concepts uh, in more detail. So this is a part where we split from the documents, a set of documents, you split them into words and then filter some of the words. Now, this is a further filtering, right? Now, the words extracted from here will then be examined again, review, and to assign what we call weights, right? Because different words has different level of significance. Okay, I mean whether some words are important, some words are not important. So we want to be more objective. So this is the part where we further refine the weightage of the words. Okay. Now this transformation here actually takes place. Not this is not actually a linear steps. This transformation, these two, right? As we these two activities are being transferred to a matrix. Okay, a matrix is where the data are being kept into rows and columns. Okay, this is not our only metric. This is what we call the weighted matrix, which later will be used for text mining. Okay, so when I talk about this transformation, we are referring to the transformation from unstructured way of information to a structured way. Okay, how we derive this matrix again we'll discuss. And then once the data is ready, is ready, we will apply some of these techniques, data mining techniques to do the analysis. So for our course here, we will be doing these three, right? Topic extraction, clustering, and link analysis. These Boolean rules will probably be used in sentiment analysis lah. We will not, depending on the time, we will try to do one lesson or maybe one example of predictive analytics. Okay, this predictive analytics is based on unstructured data. Okay, now what it means here is that, for example, I have six of 5 authors. All right, 5 authors of different articles. So I train up a model to identify who is the author. All right. Then after that, after training this model, I have another set of articles, but written by the same author, which I don't know. And I can use a model that I built earlier on to predict this new set of documents written by these 5 authors to identify who is the author. Right? This is prediction. Question? Okay. The data collection we'll be doing today, how we get the data for analysis. Text parsing, as I mentioned just now, is to extract out words. Okay, I'll talk about all this as we come along. This is filtering. Okay, in text transformation is to transform them into these metrics. Now, this is a good video. I hope you have time to see them. Okay, it probably tell us how text mining is done using the information, the text collected from a survey, right? So we'll be using this SAS text miner tool. I will talk about it later on in the next lesson. All right. Any question? So this is a run through, a very high level run through of what we're supposed to learn at the last lesson.
No, none, no questions for now.
Okay. The rest okay? The rest quiet.
Yeah, okay. It's okay.
Right. I just want to mention a bit about your coursework due on May the 11th. Okay. So in this coursework one, it's up to all you need to do is only up to week number 6 or the lesson 6 and 7. Lesson 6 and 7 actually is clustering. So what you require of you is to know up to lesson 6 and 7. Okay, and actually the coursework is actually ready. Just wait. So I will publish it in lesson 4. So it's good that you look at the coursework one. Some of the things you may not understand at it, but at least you look in advance so that when I go through today's lesson 3 to 6, at least you know what to look out for to fulfill your course one. Is that okay?
Yeah, it's okay.
Yeah, it's fine.
So I will just I'll publish the coursework one. So the date for that is 11, 11 of May.
Eugene, we can't hear you, man.
Could you say again about the coursework? Could you share a bit more about the coursework?
No, I will say that I will. Okay, I will share. I'm saying that can you hear me, Eugene? Eugene, right?
Yes, sir. I can hear you.
Okay. Saying that I will release the coursework one, our next lesson, but examine until lesson 6 and 7, clustering. So what I actually suggest you all do is that when I release on Thursday, just take a look. Some of the things you may not understand, but at least if you read through, uh, it may help you to identify some of the things you need to know for the coursework as I go through the lesson, all right? Okay. Is that okay, Eugene?
Yes, yes, yes. Thanks.
Okay, now let me need a break or something like that before we start the next today's lesson.
Yeah, it's okay. That's right.
Okay. Okay, today there's a lab. So from today onwards there'll be a lab. Okay, let me just run through the lesson, and then what it's going to do is that once I finish the lecture, you can start doing your lab. Okay. By the way, you already know how to use Enterprise Miner, right? In Rudy's class.
No.
We've been given the guide, but we are using a different software in this case. So I think we might have to take a look at it again.
Uh, okay, so you're not following the guide Rudy gave using the Enterprise Miner. No, I mean there's nothing wrong with what you are doing. I just want to clarify.
No, as in for me, for me personally, the NIME software is quite easy to use, so I just start with that. So, but I don't know about the rest.
So
Yeah, you told to start with Lime software, and then we are working on the coursework now for submission.
so basically, what we have is first assignment. We basically use the another software.
Yeah.
I mean, we have the whole tutorial book, but essentially, we are just being thrown a book lah, and then for us to figure out ourselves. So for now, to be honest, I haven't had the time to really look at it from a book perspective. I'm not really sure if we have any tutorials on it. So I haven't really practiced anything on it yet.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. Because yeah, for my part, you'll find that actually the text mining is a plugin into the Enterprise Miner, and it's relatively easy to use lah. But easy to use one thing is really the interpretation, right? Most of the software tools are quite easy to use. It's how we interpret, how we build a model, and that's where the skill comes in. Okay, yeah, thanks for sharing. I just want to find out, yeah, where have you all been in your the other module?
Yeah,
Okay,
because one limitation that we have is that now that the classes are run online, right? To get into the SAS mining science test thing, you need to go through a virtual
yeah, you
environment.
need to, correct. Understand.
So if in
Uh,
virtual environment, you can't run teams at all. So there's no way for us to do both at the same time.
mm,
So do you have any
okay,
solution for that?
I've used Nine, but uh, I'm not so good at it lah. Okay, but I believe the concept is the same. Okay, so we see how. Let's see how. Okay. Because I was just thinking how to. Okay, then we'll talk about this later on about your assignment. Okay, if you look at the framework here, today we just right. So, but we very much do it lah to do it. Now, so in any data analysis, of course, we must collect the right data, all right, in order to get the at least the right results that we attempt to get. So, this is the enterprise miner interface. Okay. So in this enterprise miner interface, when you're using it, this is actually it's an integrated platform, where I think you all have gone through that, right? The interface, but there is one particular tab, text mining. Now this text mining is a plugin. Okay, it's a plugin where you have to buy and add in. So it's just like your Excel. So this for this course, what we need is just this tab. Because when you click on this tab here, there's actually the various functions that we are actually trying to work on, all right? Which we'll discuss this later on, right? So these are the different tabs, different functions. These are so I assume that you know this because we is where it contains all the function, a collection of function. For example, in text parsing, where you click on this, you have a property panel. So this is where you configure all your setting. Okay. So for text mining, we be using just this tab. Okay. So so if you can, yeah, try to use a enterprise miner. Okay, text enterprise miner. Oh, sorry, enterprise text miner. Okay. So the sales text miner is just a collection of tools that enable you to collect text and data. Okay, I will skip all these. Let me just straight away tell you. Now, why do we use this enterprise miner? Because in this software, you can actually integrate both structured and unstructured data, right? In the same environment, and that's why we this tool was we actually select quite a while ago, a few years ago, because the industry actually used it. But I do understand that over the years, those smaller companies who cannot afford SaaS are actually is using some of those tools like K9 and so on. Okay. Okay, so there's this the way what we need to do is that just in any other tool, before you can use put data into the environment of your tool. Right? So text import is one of the import node that allows you to import. When I say the data set, I'm talking about a corpus of documents. All right. So in this particular, this is a property panel uh, of the imports. Okay, the text import. So the text import actually is you just drag it down, and then this is a property panel. Okay, so I'm just blowing out. So in the property panel, you actually point to where you want to import from. Thing, right? This one is by default. This is from external, right? So it's outside the tool. It's outside the tool, and this is where after they import into the tool, this is where you'll be kept, all right? Are you all following me?
Sorry, interrupt. Import the file directory is your local computer, right? And destination
Yes,
directory is in the
yeah,
shared
this is in the local computer. This is also the server, all right? Just that logically, the software uses the local space as part of its environment now. But this is outside the tool environment. Okay, so this is the directory where you have your raw data. You want to import into the the SAS text miner environment before you can actually work on it. You don't have to this one you don't have to worry actually. When you point to this will actually be, I think it's created. Okay, yeah, the exercise. Okay. Now this text size here, this is proprietary lah. This is to tell us the number of words that can be imported lah. Oh, the maximum is 32,000.
I ask a
So
question. Sorry. I ask a question. The language, if you have Chinese document, then you choose Chinese.
yes, correct. SAS can take in a lot of languages.
Even if it's bilingual.
Bilingual, huh? I think there's only one language that you can choose. Yeah. You can try later on, but I think there's only one language. Yeah. But the file itself, I think they can also read in different languages. Yeah. But they will not do the translation for you lah. Oh. Okay. So what happened is when you do a text import, for example, okay, this is my corpus of documents. It can be, you don't have to be PDF, can be a mixture of Word document, PDF, XML. Okay, what happened is that the documents will be transformed into a SAS data set because it's a SAS environment and it's in rows lah. So each document is put into a row. I mean, the content of the document, okay, the actual content of the document will be put into a row. Okay, I will show you later on. So as I mentioned just now, it allows you to have a mixture. You actually in your exercise there is a activity on that lah. Okay. Okay, so this is what actually happened. This is my raw SAS environment. Okay, outside the SAS environment. So when I do a text import, this is how it appears in the SAS environment, the tool environment. Okay, this will tell you how you come to this page. So you can see that each document, okay, under says data table. But you don't actually need to access this because but one you have to yeah, it's fine. Okay, what you should look at every time you want to do analysis, you should look at some samples of your raw data to get an idea of what the how big is one the number of words, okay, inside each file, okay, and what is the content of the file. So what happens is that after you import, you don't import, you will come out, they will give you the sort of the results outcome of in different windows. So this window, for example, tells you that the number of truncated, whether there's any truncated documents, right? Because if your document is too big, some parts may be truncated. Okay, this part here will tells you what language. Okay, yeah, I haven't really tried out the different languages lah. Okay, but I think if they cannot recognize the language, it will just throw away. This part here tell you the document type. Okay, so for example, I may have 1,000 documents. It will tell me, okay, how many documents are XML, how many documents are Microsoft Word, and how many documents are PDF, just to give us a feel. Okay, just to give us a feel of the profile of the set of copy that we are trying to analyze. All right. But the most important window is this one, right? This window here, which is this window, right? Okay, this one actually tells us how many documents have been truncated, how many have been omitted, right? This one may not be very clear. So what actually happened is that, okay, so the zero here, the percent, these four rows correspond to these four definition. All right, so the frequency, so in this particular example, there are 337 documents. Sorry, 3,037 documents. So in terms of percentage, is 100%. Okay. Now column and row percentage here refer to this. Okay, so in this one, actually there's a cutoff here, so I just pull it out, right? So the way to interpret this is okay, number of truncated zero. Zero means none of the documents that you actually imported are truncated, right? So intact. So supposing there's some numbers here, right? Some numbers here, say 20. So what it means here is that 20 of the documents are truncated, and these 20 documents are also omitted. That means it doesn't comes into the environment because maybe it's too big or maybe it can't recognize what file is this. So these 20 numbers, so this number tells us that, okay, originally we may have 1,000 documents, but 20 of them are rejected and so on. Okay, so supposing I have a number here, maybe say 30. So what it means here that it means a document is truncated, it is not omitted. So these 30 documents are imported into the environment, okay, although it's truncated, right? So this is actually the important window, okay, inside the results here. Any question?
Not from me.
Okay. So
Truncated,
so just now I mentioned, yeah.
truncated just means that the data has been loaded correctly, right? Properly.
Which one? This case is,
Yes.
yeah, the example here, yeah, has been loaded correctly. There's no missing. That's why it's 100%. Yeah. Yeah, row percentage refers to this way. Column percentage refers to this way down. Yeah. So in this particular example, which I extracted out from the exercise, is, yeah, there's no omission or truncation. Yeah. All right. So this is about the text import, but I want to go further than that. Now, sometimes we actually need to collect the data from the web. We don't have it in our local directory. For example, you may want to mine the data from a particular website on a particular page. So SASS, and then load into SASS environment. Actually, SASS allow you to do that. SASS actually allow you to do that. SASS use a program called web crawler. Are you all familiar with crawler? I mean, not just SASS. I mean, there's a lot of crawler document software around. Basically, it's a software that allows you to crawl the website and download some of the information that you actually need. Okay. So the way crawler, yeah. So there'll be in the exercise today, there'll be okay, let me just show it to you first. I come back. Eh, yeah. Eh. We don't need to see this one first. Okay. Now you can see that this is a text import node, right? In the text import node, there is this web crawl. Okay. The web crawl actually allows you to crawl from a particular website. Now, I'll explain this level later on. This level here, the depth here, basically, when you go to a website, on the page itself, there are links, right? So that's the first level. So the link will link to another page. That's the second level. So it depends on how many levels you want to actually crawl, right? So now once you crawl the data, this is in text. You before that you actually define these two local directory, because the data that's crawled from this website will be loaded first of all into your import into here, the import file directory, and then the software, the text import, will load into SASS. Okay, will load into SASS and keep under this directory. Okay, so all these are explained in the exercise lah.
Sorry, interrupt.
Yeah.
Import file directory is a local computer, right?
Yes, correct. Yes. Okay, the content from the web, this crawl will be loaded into here, the raw data. But this one you have to define it first before you do the crawling. Okay. This one here is when you load from here, it will load into the SASS format, which is inside here. Remember, before we can actually use the data, we had to sort of convert the raw data into the data format, the SAS data set. So this is to convert into, this is from the raw data that you download, and then you automatically convert it into the SAS data set of this source. You got it?
Yes, thank you.
Okay. Before you can use SAS tools, you need to have a SAS data set in your predictive, right? So any data, raw data will have to be converted to SAS data set. But this conversion normally is actually automatic. You remember when you're doing your enterprise guide, you can do a file import of Excel, right? And then the import function will actually convert your Excel into the SAS data set before you can actually use it for analysis.
Actually,
Any question?
Actually, we in the enterprise guide, SAS enterprise in BI. Actually, we copy from local computer and then paste it to a desktop in the SAS environment. And then from there, not from a
Yeah,
local computer, it's to the desktop.
I mean that's another way lah. That's not. I mean what I mean is supposing your original data set is an Excel. You can go into EG and do a file import. So when you file import from your Excel, it will automatically convert into the SAS data set. Yeah. Okay. Let me just briefly explain to you the crawling. Do you want a break or anything like that? Maybe we take a 5 minutes break. Is it okay?
Yeah, I think that's fine.
That's
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah, 5 to 10 minutes break. Yeah, I need a drink. Yeah. So we come back. We'll talk a bit about the web crawler. Okay. Okay. Is everybody there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay. Right. So just now I wanted to briefly go through the how the web crawler actually works. So basically, the web crawler require a page link. We call it the starting point. Basically, it's a starting point. We call it the seed page. Okay. So there are two ways. You actually crawl. One is from a seed page. You can basically it can either go horizontally or you go downwards first. That means, yeah, as you can see, it traverses the depth first, then it goes to the next depth. Okay, of course, or you can actually go through the breadth first, and then this way, all right? So basically, there are two modes of crawling. Now which way is beyond our control? It depends on how they actually implement it. Okay. So you can see this is just a diagram to show how it traverses through the
You're
pages,
calling
right?
the email, right? You're calling the web page or the email?
Say it again.
Looks like you're crawling the Gmail or crawling the web page.
Crawling the web pages.
Saw
So what?
Gmail there.
We can only see your Gmail.
Oh, you can only see my Gmail. How come? Okay, just give
You
me a
need to
minute.
share your desktop.
Yeah. I forgot again. Yeah.
Yeah, now see your desktop.
Apology. I'm still not used to. How come it's always this lesson?
For many tasks, you need to close over tasks.
Yeah. I need to. This one. Yeah, the web crawler. Can you see now?
See your presentation slide.
Can you see? Can you see the web crawler? Can you see now?
Saw the slide.
Yeah. So basically, you don't need to know the details because, but just get the idea that how when you do the crawler, you can actually there are two modes of crawling. One is by the breadth first, that means this is a starting page. the C page or starting page, and then when you the search will actually go cover, you know, all the first level before it go to the second level. Whereas the second one is the crawler will actually go to the depth first, okay? Right? So firstly one is to cover the breadth first, and then the depth. The other one is to cover the depth first, then the breadth. Okay. So if you want to see the in a pictorial way, so this is how you actually do it. Okay. Now, actually, I want to show you something. Let me see. Okay, let's see whether you can play this video the sound. If cannot, then I'll upload to. Tell me whether you can hear the sound. Can you hear the sound?
Yeah,
Yes,
we can hear the sound.
Yeah. Okay.
For this lesson, we want to how search engines work. It's critical in understanding this. So when you know how search engines work, you'll have a proper understanding and expectation of how quickly things will happen, how they happen, and when changes will show up in the search engines. So the first thing we need to know about how search engines work is there's a little thing called spiders. Spiders are a software program that is sent out by the search engine to find new information. Now, we also call these or crawlers. Again, there are some strange names in this industry, but all three of these words mean the same thing. It's a software program that the search engine uses to request pages and download them. Now, this comes as a surprise to some people, but really what the search engines do is they use a link off an existing website to find a new website. And when they find a new web page, they request a copy of that page. They download it to their server. They evaluate that page. They find links to other pages within that brand new website. And so they start requesting all these pages off the website. And one by one, they download pages off of a website until they have downloaded a complete copy of that website. And that's what the search engines use to run the ranking algorithm against. And that's what shows up in the search engine results page. So what is happening is, and this is critical to understand, the search engines need to download a copy of your website. If they can't download a copy of your website, it will not show up in the search engine results. So the first part of search engine optimization is making sure that the search engines are quote unquote seeing your website. And when we say seeing, we mean they're downloading your website. Also, what we want to be sure is that every page has its own unique address. You see, this page here denotes that this is the only place on the internet that you will see this specific page of information. A URL is a mailbox. So when you see a URL published online, or you see a URL in the search results, or you see a URL in your browser bar, what you are seeing is the mailbox for that document. Every document has a unique address. And so the search engines need to be able to access that address to make a copy of that page. And so we can see the process here that the search engines have to download a complete copy of your website to their servers. The searcher, when they type in a search, is processed through the search engine's database, through the ranking algorithm, and then those results come out of the database. So, quick overview, spiders, bots, and crawlers, they make copies of your websites and of your documents. So your website needs to be readable or seeable to a search engine, and then The algorithm is applied to the documents that the search engine has downloaded to its database. The critical part here is if you have a brand new website, the most important thing you can do is start building links to the website, because search engines find new websites by following links around the internet. And once they find you, they visit frequently to ensure that they have the latest, most up-to-date copy of your website.
Let me see how to. Just give me a minute.
I have always felt if you know what you're going to do in advance, then you won't do it.
Okay, I hope that will help, at least to understand how the search engine works. So the SAS actually allows you to actually crawl. There's a crawl function in the text import. Now I also want to show you something, just to let you know. Now you can also use other software like, you know, anybody has done that, Scrappy. This is more a command line kind of, you can actually download free. And actually, for me, I sometimes I use this one, all right, auto pass. This is easier than this one to use. There are many. So, but basically they are all about the same, right? So if you don't want to use SAS, you can use other software as well. Now in the exercise, I've asked you to look at the tutorials, okay, of this one. Then the other thing is, if you want to, sometimes the public domain, they also have data sets that's available, quite a lot. For me, I normally go to this one, Kaggle. Anyone familiar with this website? Okay, later in the exercise you can run through again. Now, this is supposedly the government, our government, they put in their data set there, data.gov.sg. Okay, so if you want to have a look, you can see what kind of information is there. They have it. Different sector. Of course, they also have some of the presentation of some of the data set. So these are local data that you can actually get it. But one thing I find that they are not so granular lah. Oh, they are not so granular, so sometimes it's hard to analyze. Okay. Let me just finish one more thing before we start our exercise. Now, just now I mentioned that if we import files, you know, individual text files in a directory, once it's imported into the SAS environment, it will be, each document will be put into a row. But what happens if your text, your documents are already in Excel format? Okay, if your documents are already in Excel format, you can't actually use text import. You have to use what we call the file import. Okay, so this is what happens is that if you use text import to import the text file, you probably get one big document, right? Because the Excel file is already in rows. So what you do is when you have Excel file, we should we should use file import, right? So Excel file, this is output from file import. Just take note of that, right? File import is where file import is. Let me see here. File import is one of those at the top. Sorry, I think under Explore tab. Okay, Explore tab in your Enterprise Miner. Okay, any question on that? Now, if not, I will just quickly run through the exercise and just explain to you. Then we will. Sorry, I opened up too many. I'll be around to see how we're getting on with the exercise. Okay, you don't know how to log in, right? So create a new project. Just like what you did. Now, before that, I need you all to do something. Now, before you actually do a connection, when you connect to, we're in the server already, right? The 007 server, in your own user directory, create a folder called text miner, right? So the text miner is created under this path, C user, then your user ID. Under your user, so you create this folder. Now, why? Because this folder will be used to keep all your class exercises starting from today. So what you will see something like this. So this is mine, C user. So every time you create a text mining project, they will ask you where do you want to save it to. So you save all your metadata, all your project metadata into this text miner folder, so that you know exactly where you understand what I'm trying to say, right? So this one you need to create once, all right, from the start, and then subsequently all the projects that you create for the lab exercises will go into this. Okay. Then after that, you log into your Enterprise Miner. Okay. So here we create a new project. Yeah, it will ask you. When you click next, it will ask you your project name and then share server directory. Okay. You click on browse, and that's where you point to your folder that you create just now. Okay. Right. So your project, this is your collect data, and then yeah. So this is where you point to. So this is your project name. You will create the project under this folder that you created earlier on. Is everybody clear with? Yeah.
Sorry,
Okay.
I think you still have bad network quality. That's why the slides look very blurry.
This is not a slide. This is the soft document, Microsoft. Anyway, this is the exercise. I'm just going through the exercise worksheet with you.
I know the PDF file, but It's got, when you scroll up and down, it's very blurry.
Oh, I see. Very slow lah. Okay. All right. Okay. So anyway, the instructions are all there lah. Okay, if it's blurry, then I'll probably go through. Uh, it's 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 quite self-explanatory. Okay, so I suggest you do the exercise now. So if there's anything, you can just ask me. Okay, is that all right?
No, that means we got to quit the Microsoft team, then we can do it. Because yeah,
Oh, is it?
yeah, because we can't connect VPN.
Okay. So okay, if any question, you can use the WhatsApps lah to text me. Is that okay?
It's okay.
That's
Yeah.
exercise what, sorry.
Yeah, that's okay.
Yeah, so that everybody can know what is happening. By the way, I need to take attendance. I think everybody is here, right? Except yeah, this is because I'm using my own laptop, so I don't have access to the Leo. Okay. Let me see. I just want to do a screen capture. But look, it's gone. Just give me a minute. Okay. So if I mark your attendance wrongly, can you forgive me? Just let me know. I'll change. Okay. I actually made a screenshot so that I know who is present. Is that okay?
Yep, sure.
Yeah. So if I mark you wrongly, please tell me. I'll change. Okay. So what we are doing now is that we are doing the exercise. Yeah, you need to hopefully complete the exercise because we are going to do more exercises on Thursday. Okay, using the text minor. So any questions? Since you are using the VPN, you just ask a question through the WhatsApp lah. Is that okay?
Yeah, it's
Yep.
okay.
Yeah.
But going forward, how are you going to conduct the lessons since we are unable to do these teams and this S minor at the same time? Did you have a plan to focus a lot on the software?
Yeah, actually the software, the exercises are self-explanatory. Yeah. Maybe you can't, is it? Actually, the teams are separated. You don't log into you VPN into RP. You can run Teams and VP. You can run Teams and the server at the same time. Can you?
Never try that. I tried Teams. I never tried Teams
Those
on.
you are using your Teams outside the RP VPN, right? You are using your own Teams, huh?
Yeah, I'm using my desktop team.
Okay.
We never try the team on the SaaS environment.
Sorry.
You never try the team on desktop environment. Maybe it works.
Yeah, you try first. I also try at the same time. I think it should work because how did Rudy actually show you all?
Rudy never run the SaaS with us. He just leave the thing for us to play with. We focus more on our software, on LAMP.
Okay, that's you lah. What about the rest? Can I hear from the rest? The rest have been very quiet, so I don't know what is happening at your side.
I think worst case you cannot. You can run Teams on your handphone.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know, because for Mr. Ready class we just use NIME because it's much easier. So I don't know how you're gonna go about trying to go like use this, because like I don't know whether if we go in VPN you still can use Teams.
Let's try first.
Okay.
I
I don't
will
mind try first. I don't mind try first and
try on my laptop, and then okay, I will send you another meeting. Then you all come in again and see whether I will demo to you the, if can I will demo to you the, I'll log into the server and then we roughly go through the exercise. Is that okay?
okay. Yep, can.
So we
Yeah,
try
okay,
now,
thanks.
right? We
Yeah,
try
you
now.
try first. I will try on my side.
Okay.
I'll log into Teams as because I'm shooting back to my own RP laptop lah, the environment. I'm also using Teams now outside.
Okay.
Yeah.
Then I will log off these Teams and try the VPN.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
See you there if
Yeah.
we can.
Yeah, we'll communicate again. Yeah.
Okay, thanks.